Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more. The Man That Can Project podcast, a podcast empowering career-driven men to live more fulfilling lives. We are here to challenge your beliefs, redefine success, and talk about the important stuff in a relatable way. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. My name's Lachlan Stuart. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Man That Can Projects podcast. Today we have a short, sharp episode where we'll be giving you 5 tips on how to be the best version of yourself. I'm here with my co-host, Bradley.
Hello.
Fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's dive straight in. Number 1, how to be the best version of yourself. You need to decide what the best version of yourself looks like. There's no point aimlessly trying to achieve all of these things if you aren't clear on what that best version looks like. And obviously that can grow and change and evolve as you do as well. But having a clear direction for where you want to go helps you make better decisions based around what is going to get there and a few of the other points that we'll talk about shortly. But let's look at physically, what does the best version of yourself look like physically? How strong do you need to be? The energy that you need? We'll go more into that shortly. Mentally, we've got 2 options here. You either have a fixed mindset, meaning who you are and the way your life is right now, you don't believe that it can change at all. Or you've got the flip side, which is the growth mindset, which is where we want you to be. Right? Having a growth mindset means that you believe everything can be learned, which we're both big believers that anything you want to improve upon, whether it's finances, your relationships, your health, there are people out there that you can learn from. There are books, there are resources, even lived experience that can help you grow there. And finally, I guess with that, decide what it looks like spiritually. Being a part of something bigger than yourself. I'm not personally religious, but I do believe that how I show up on a daily basis and what I'm here to do is for a bigger purpose than myself. It makes me feel, it gives me drive and motivation to continue showing up daily. So there are a few key sub points around deciding what the best version of yourself looks like. Is there anything you would add to that, Bradley?
For example, physically for me, what that looks like is making sure I'm sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours a day, making sure I'm on top of my nutrition, getting protein in with each meal, and exercising at least 5 days a week. So nice and simple. That's what physically, that looks like. The best version of me looks like.
Yeah, epic. Let's look at the second one. So second point, environment. The cliche saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Very true. You think about this. The people that are in your environment now, the ones that you're spending time around with, so think about work colleagues, think about family, think about maybe training buddies, mentor groups, whatever you're a part of. What do they talk about majority of the time? Is that going to help you get to where you want to get to, or is it holding you back? We then look around, how do you feel around those people? Do you feel empowered or do you feel disempowered? Is it exciting for you to be around those people or do you dread it? And there's generally some pretty black and white feedback there around whether you should be hanging around in those environments or not. But also take note of what their lives are like. And it's not about judging them for how they live their life. It's more so being able to judge whether you want your life to be similar to theirs, because generally you'll think, act, and behave in a similar way to your environment. So, Brad, what's the key thing for you? I know you're training for CrossFit at the moment. How's that?
So if I want to be the best CrossFitter I can be, that's hanging around with people who are doing CrossFit and are at a high level, the level where I want to get to. Probably better, even better than me.
100% better.
So I've got room to grow. There's no point hanging around with people that you are. Obviously, you can help those people if you are better or more like fitter. But if you're hanging around with people that are a step ahead, at least then your goal could be to get that direction of where they are. And then even if it's business, it's like if you want to do better in your business or earn X amount, who have you got to hang around with? Who has already got what you want?
Yep.
Who are those people that are already doing those? What are those habits like? And if you start hanging around with those people, you start picking up on those habits. And listening to podcasts, reading just becomes your new norm.
Yep.
Because the 5 guys you're hanging around are all doing that every day. Now you are.
Yep. And that's why being clear on the best version of yourself, it's about being specific, right? If your goal is to be the best CrossFitter, as it is for Brad, you wouldn't go hang around the best surfers, right? While you may learn a few things and you may get fitter, it's not really a transferable skill to the specific sport. But if your goal is just to be fitter, then that doesn't matter. But I'm a big believer in being specific, right? Because that's where you really start looking out for the very small things that are those 1%ers that are going to help you with that point. Another thing with environment that isn't spoken about often, but is what does the environment you're in, what are the opportunities provided? And we're not just talking about the people there and the networks, but more so the infrastructure's in place. So if you're living in the middle of Australia and you wanted to be a world champion surfer, maybe a bit hard unless there is a wave park out there, which I don't think there is at this point. But to get to the beach, it's a bit of an effort. It could be inexpensive to fly there regularly. So you would start going, okay, well, this really isn't the right environment to support me to achieve what it is that I want to achieve, right? It's the reason why I moved towns, why I moved cities, and obviously why you're in Australia now instead of the UK.
And why I'm in a CrossFit gym.
Yeah, as opposed to a Globo gym.
Yeah, because they probably won't have the CrossFit facilities.
Correct. So it's getting specific, and I always go back to the more specific you are with things, the easier it is to find out, what it is that you need to look for. Okay? So second one there is environment. Let's go to number 3. Grow your mind. Boom. As I said before, you got the fixed mindset or you've got the growth mindset. Which one do you have, Brad?
I'd say I've got growth, mate, or I won't be part of the...
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't be here right now, would you? I'd be kicking you right out. But ways that, I did have a fixed mindset for a long time. So it's not that if you are listening to this and you go, oh, I think I have a fixed mindset, you can still change it. It's purely perspective.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a decision. As I was mentioning, you can learn, you can grow your mind through lived experience, the experiences of others, or science, right? Facts, data. Now, there are some experiences you probably don't want to have. You'd rather read someone's book and learn about it. There's a guy we have coming up on the podcast soon, Damon West, who is sentenced to life in prison. I hope I never have to experience that. I'd rather learn through his lived experience. However, there's obviously things that you need to experience yourself. Brad, you've got children. I don't, so I can learn from your lived experience. You can tell me from your own experience, right? Then obviously, so some key things are looking at reading, podcasting, living your life, and actually slowing down to review and reflect on it. Like, what have you learned? What experiences have you had? Are all key points to growing your mind. Obviously, also being open to being wrong and seeking to understand why people think the way they do, why people act the way they do is also very important. Is there anything you would add to that?
Not really. Well, if I've got like something I'm struggling with or an area that I'm not as confident in, for example, if that's public speaking, it's like, I don't feel that I'm the best in that area. What have I got to do? Who have I got to be around to be a better public speaker? So what books can I read? I think Dale Carnegie, that's how you say his second name, is wrote a book on public speaking. So I remember reading that a while ago. Then it's actually talking to people that have already done public speaking. What tips do they have to share, and so on.
And then it's to start doing it.
And then start doing it, taking action.
Filming yourself and then getting feedback. Yeah. The other things that we sort of dive into is obviously asking good questions. If you want to improve how you think about things and understanding of things, learn to ask better questions. It's like, how do you make money? Well, there's a million answers to that. But what's a specific question that you need to ask to say, how can I improve my salary by $2? What skills do I need to learn to do that? And as we speak about, like, you can always ask more questions to that to get to a specific actionable step that you can take in order to gain an outcome that you're looking for.
You go. And asking like why about your own emotions, because as we know, emotions are good navigators. They can actually navigate us through life. So if I'm feeling a certain way, why am I feeling that way? Is it something I'm missing? Is it something I want? And asking these why questions.
Emotional intelligence, I like it. And belief systems as well, understanding what beliefs you have, and are those beliefs moving you towards the kind of life that you want, or are they holding you back? Because you can change all beliefs. Every belief that you now have, you learnt from somewhere, you adopted from somewhere. Wow. There was one point in my life where I didn't believe I could run a company like we do now. Now I can't imagine not being able to run a company. Same with podcasting, public speaking, all of these things. So yeah, there's definitely processes that you can go through with those belief systems, and growing your mind is a really important part. It's our, I guess, mental fitness focus of the academy. We focus heavily on challenging ourselves and members to continue to grow their mind to be the best version of themselves. Number 4, train your body. Boom. For me, it's all about, if I want to start the day feeling confident, I need to think about how my energy is. I want to look at myself. When you walk past the mirror, I want to catch a glimpse and go, to me, that represents discipline. It represents hard work. It represents sacrifice. But right now, how I look and how I feel gives me an advantage over someone who doesn't walk past the mirror and look like that. That's, for me, an important reason why I train consistently, why I eat well, why I recover well, because there's these small things that it's like, I want the advantage in any way that I can in maximizing my life and being the best version. Is there anything you would add to training your body?
Personally, for me, training my body is important for my mood, especially.
Oh yeah.
Like if I've had,
you're always in a good mood. You must train a lot.
Yeah. So if I've had like a week on holiday, don't get me wrong, I like the downtime, but I also know in the back of my heart, like I need to train. There's just something there. Like I've got to itch to scratch. Yeah, I love it. I just how it makes me feel after. I feel like I've earned my day.
Yes.
So for my mood, especially, and that obviously helps me focus as well, because then training's not on the back of my mind. So once I've got my training done, that improves my focus afterwards. Helps me sleep.
Yep.
Because I'm knackered, I've spent my energy. Like I can actually get to sleep well, and obviously hanging around with people as well in the gym and being around that environment. They're the people that I want to be around. So going training all the time, I get to see those people that also share that same value of the importance, like looking after their health.
Yeah. It's just that longevity as well. You don't want to, I always say to myself, I don't want to find myself at the doctor's office being told I've got some illness or something that could have been prevented had I looked after my health. So every day, the actions that I take, the small bits of exercise or the large bits of exercise, is a deposit in my savings account for good health. That's the way I look at it. Whereas some people wait until they get these diagnoses and they're like, I need to get fit. I need to get healthy. It's like, brother, you need to be doing that right now, because whether it's yourself, your spouse, your children, someone's going to be depending on you. And if you've let your stuff go, that's on you. I don't want to be that guy.
Could be too late for some.
Literally.
Get onto it now.
Get onto it now. Better late than never, but start earlier. Start earlier. So that's training your body. That's another key thing that you need to prioritize to be the best version of yourself. Finally, the fun king is sitting across from me. Have fun. I've literally learnt this since I met you. I spent so much of my life wanting to be a great athlete, then wanting to be great in business, then wanting to be around cool people, that I was so focused on all of these things that I neglected just enjoying life as I was living it. Why is it so important to you?
For me, it's important because when I reflect and look back on my life during my end days, I know this sounds morbid.
It is morbid.
At least I can look back and be like, I had fun.
Yeah.
I had a great time. And for me, that's also someone I want to be remembered by my close family and friends. Whoever I am around, I want them to remember me as that person that was good to be around, positive and fun. So yeah, that keeps me motivated to just enjoy life and
it's one of the
be grateful.
Yeah, one of the things we did 2 weeks ago. One of the tasks we set our members was to write a bucket list, because I had Sebastian Terry on the podcast, who has 100 things, and I was like, all right, let's put down our 10 things that we want to do in our life, some experiences or moments. When everyone came back with a list, I was like, okay, you've got 1 month to tick one of those off. And for you and I, and Nick, who also joined us, was to go for a surf during the work week, because it feels a bit naughty leaving the office during the week. For me, it's mentally hard. And go for a surf and then go have a day at Topgolf. Got down to the beach. Surf was not happening. So we're like, let's go to this water park we just drove past. And we were like grown adults playing chasey on the on this thing. We had a great morning and then went to Topgolf. And for me, that was like tickers, and nothing fell apart. I had an incredible day, made some great memories, had some good laughs. But that's life. Right? So many of us are so focused on the next thing, that we forget about what we have right now. And once again, as you were saying before, we don't know when our time's up. So you want to make sure you're really maximizing those moments when you can. So definitely do that. And I'll quickly summarize. So how to be the best version of yourself, in my opinion. Point 1, decide what the best version of yourself looks like. Secondly, the environment and the company that you keep. Get very clear on that and make that happen. Don't just go, oh, I don't want to let any friends go because we've been mates since preschool. It's like, if they're not in, wanting to go where you want to go, maybe you do need to distance yourself with them. Thirdly, grow your mind. Right? Develop a growth mindset. Continue learning, continue changing beliefs to move you towards the life that you want to live. Fourth, train your body. Get yourself in shape to have the energy, to have the vitality, to be comfortable in your birthday suit. Right? Very important. And once again, we provide all of that for all of our members there. We got some wicked programming done by Mr. Bradley Matthews himself, the man, the myth, the muscle legend. And then finally, have some fun. Think about when the last time you had some fun was. Think about what's something you could do within the next week to have a bit of fun. We'd love to hear from you. Slide into our DMs, or if you're a part of our academy, we'll see you on the call. We're going to finish with this. If you've gotten value from this podcast episode, please share it with a mate or share it on your social media. Tag us and take an extra 90 seconds to leave a rating if you haven't done so yet. The more ratings we have, the more educated people we can get than myself and Bradley, and the greater guests that we can get on the show to continue providing value for you guys. So we truly appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. Do something today to be better for tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.